With the launch of Resident Evil 4 Remake imminent, Capcom is clearly attempting to declare its second golden age. They have developed new and old IPs using the sweet RE engine, which was also used for Resident Evil 7 and Devil May Cry 5. Recently, Exoprimal had an open beta test for all platforms, with crossplay implemented and a decent netcode between different platforms and regions. I had the opportunity to play Exoprimal for about 10 hours, trying out each and every exosuit, hunting hordes of raptors, triceratops, T-Rexes, and even players during its PvP mode. All I can say is that Exoprimal is hell of a fun, and it's clear that the Capcom doesn't want to forget its Dino Crisis roots or abandon the potential of these dinos. Instead, they are desperately seeking a way to bring it back to life, and it seems that the formula of Exoprimal seemed the most logical financial way for them. I'm Arcade Out here, and today I'll talk about my impressions and thoughts on Exoprimal's open beta test, as well as what each exosuit of Exoprimal offers. First and foremost, Exoprimal's open beta offered a PvE, PvP type of a gameplay. It's basically like 5 vs 5, where players first engage in PvE combat against summoned dinos, and then later on both against the rival team and the hordes of dinos to win the match. In the world of Exoprimal, we are at the mercy of a sadistic AI called Leviathan, which puts us to the test and sees how two groups of 5 exosuited soldiers would perform in the end. During the PvE mode, the two teams cannot interact with each other or attack. They can only see each other's progress during each step. They basically race against each other to complete objectives first and faster than the rival team, hunting dinos as quickly as possible. Each match of Exoprimal takes around 15 to 20 minutes, offering fast-paced action-packed matches in short durations. Nearly every exosuit felt fun to play and effective in many situations, making the gameplay more enjoyable. A team of 5 can equip the same exosuit, where they can all play the role of a tank, assault, or a support, or take things seriously and go for more traditional approach, so to say, such as having 2 tanks, 2 assaults, and 1 support in their team build. Exoprimal is open for any experimental gameplay and tinkering to make the game more interesting. The best thing is that players can change exosuits quickly, even within the battlefield, while dinosaurs stampede towards them. They don't need to die or go back to their base to change their character, and as long as their teammates protect them, they can join back into the fight with a new exosuit while keeping their charged ultimate attack. During the open beta of Exoprimal, there were 10 different exosuits available, consisting of 4 assault, 3 tank, and 3 support options. In my opinion, Barrage of the Assault was the least effective among these 10 choices. I will explain why I found it to be the least effective later, but first, I must state that Exoprimal did everything correctly with the exosuit concept, where EA's Anthem failed. Regarding the assault exosuits, there are ranged options such as Deadeye and Valiant that can deal high damage to both dinosaurs and enemy teams. Deadeye is similar to Soldier 76 from Overwatch, offering high damage, a high fire rate, and ease of use. It is a typical assault suit that can clear dinos and mini-bosses like Triceratops quickly. It is full of burst damage skills, but lacking the utilities or crowd controls. The next one, Zephyr, focuses on fast melee combat, allowing you to shoulder tackle dinos or to send them flying through the air, dealing damage with your blades. It might seem a bit fragile at first, however it can do well during the hammer objectives. Just to summarize it quickly, if you want a more personal fighting experience, this is the exosuit for you. The third option, Barrage, was my least favorite. It uses a crossbow that sends grenades, and its skills are focused on sending sticky grenades that are supposed to deal high area of effect damage. However, I think it kinda lacked the tension and feeling of dealing damage. Last but not least, Vigilant may seem like an ordinary sniper class, but it's more than that. Alongside with Deadeye, it is an effective exosuit that can deal damage from afar. However, what sets it apart is Vigilant's ability to freeze its enemies and its chargeable sniper rifle that can deal an insane amount of damage when used correctly. Vigilant can turn the tides quickly, especially during the PvP phase. Its fully charged sniper shot to the head can even take down tanks, making it the best option if you want to focus more on PvP gameplay and inflict damage on others. I believe many Dino Crisis fans are unhappy with what Capcom has done with the franchise, as their beloved dinosaurs have become the new stars of Exoprimal. However, I really enjoyed how Capcom brought these dinosaurs to Exoprimal. They added something new and provided a new challenge in each match, resulting in varied gameplay experiences. And oddly enough, I would even describe it as a sort of dino escape. It is just our team against hundreds of dinos trying to survive and do well to impress an AI. But don't get me wrong, I love Dino Crisis and covered the first title about a year ago, and I am considering to play the second one soon. However, if you're a big Dino Crisis fan and are still skeptical about Exoprimal, let me talk about something that is really well made, and it's called Carnage Module. This module summons about thousands of raptors and pterodactyls, creating a unique and unforgettable scene. You literally see dinosaurs raining from the sky and attacking you, or giant planes come crashing down with the swarms of pterodactyls. I hope that Capcom will bring more of these Carnage modules with different scenes and challenges to each and every map, as it never gets too dull to see the waves of dinosaurs coming after you. And you know what? I would never say no to a collab with a Monster Hunter or even with Resident Evil at some point. Just imagine fighting against the thousands of jaguars and then summoning a Rathalos that would attack the enemy team. That's the kind of a Monster Hunter experience that I want to experience, alright? And to win against these Carnage module sequences, you need a sturdy tank and reliable supports, cause doing damage only would not save you from these ferocious lizards. Starting with the tanks, we have typical shield exosuit called Roadblock, a bit similar to the Reinhardt of Overwatch, dealing damage by punching, charging with the shield, while another tank called Kriga can summon a globe shield to protect his teammates by preventing the dinos to enter, while dealing insane amount of damage with his installed minigun that can overheat if it's used non-stop. And as for the last, we have Murasame, which basically turns all Exoprimal experience into Virgil's playground quickly with its parry mechanic and fast slicing attacks and judgment cuts. When all three tank exosuits are compared, I would say all of them have their unique uses and purposes, and I think these exosuits should be changed back and forth depending on the situation and what the team needs. Murasame might seem like a PvP oriented exosuit with its parry skill, but you can as well as use this ability for dinos and dominator dinosaurs as well, which I'll be talking about soon. And as a side note, Krieger looks quite like the Ironhide of Transformers, so that's another plus if you're into robots turning into cars. However, no matter what you do, you won't be able to survive long without supports and a good support to back you up. When it comes to support units, we have three different choices, starting with Witch Doctor that's focused on both single target and AoE heals, while dealing low area damage to clear low health raptors. I would not advise you to try to damage enemy players with Witch Doctor. The second one, Skywave, can fly and glide in the air, escaping from the surrounding dinos while casting AoE heals and disorienting dino or players altogether, causing blind effect. And last but not least, we have Nimbus that has the vibes of Lucia of Overwatch, that can deal range damage with its dual pistols or can heal by changing the bullets it uses. I think all of the support units do well as long as they are protected and cared by their teammates. However, I would say Nimbus has the most damage potential with its dual pistols, and Skywave has the most potential to turn the tides in a PvP battle. It's a great feature to change between these exosuits during all times. You can just change into 2 supports, 2 tanks and 1 DPS to make your team durable, or just go with 3 DPS, 1 tank and 1 support if you just feel comfortable about the dinos you are facing. Since the first half of the match are about clearing the PvE content faster than your opponent to gain upper hand and to have access to stronger dinos that you can send to your opponents. Or you can just become one. You can literally turn into a T-Rex, just like the one in Dino Crisis. But to be honest, Exoprimal is quite bad at explaining the logic behind completing the objectives faster or just how you make things more difficult for your opponents, but it does one thing quite clearly, and that is the Dominator. Both you and your opponents can access to this Dominator, which turns you into a mini-boss like Dino and lets you attack your opponent. This can be used both during PvE phase or the PvP, and you can quickly turn the tides, destroy some of your opponents and break their payload, preventing it to proceed further. These Dominators appear commonly for the losing team, however it becomes available for both teams during the PvP phase depending on your team performance. I think Exoprimal provided a fun gameplay even during the open beta test, however as you might expect it also needs more maps, dinos and gameplay mechanics to keep itself fresh and addicting if they ever want to succeed as a multiplayer game. It does not have any loadout or exosuit attribute crap, but they do have a free and premium Game Pass kind of stuff. As you can guess, the contents were not available during the open beta. But if I were to talk about myself, Exoprimal proved itself, and I hope Capcom has lots of plans for it, whether it be a new exosuit or collaborations with other Capcom IPs, new maps and whatsoever. It has really good potential. It will be on Game Pass on the launch day, and it also has a decent netcode with crossplay implemented. I live in Japan and play with my friends from Europe without any problems, so you basically have no excuse to miss it. Even if you have ornithosodelephobia, you might overcome it with your buddies. Exoprimal has the potential. It can bring back Dino Crisis as long as Capcom continues the same treatment for its dinos.